lessons that are coming up is to be attentive to the things of God. We often focus on all the wrong stuff. We ask God for more only to waste it, use it on the wrong things, go in the wrong direction, only to discover that it's going to run out. If you're saying it, say it. What do you need to tell me? Okay, it'll be all right, Mom. Thank you. And we put ourselves in a position where we miss out on what God has for us because we take what He gives us and we neglect it. It's sad to say amazing grace and really not understand the beauty of grace. It's a sad thing to sing hymns in church and come to worship and not leave elevated in our thinking, in our spirituality. My hope and my prayer is that whatever we do at Power, that we will empower the next generation. Amen. To break some of these curses, to be closer to God.
Help us, Lord. Help us.
To have a better understanding of who He is, because they're going to need Him.
Yes, right now.
Oh, yes. Right now. I want to talk to you from 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter, which has been read for you by our deacon in training, Brother Paul. I'm not going to ask you to stand in its reading, but I am going to, as a subject, say to you, I want to talk about a generation of prostitutes. A generation of prostitutes. At the time that the scribe that recorded this about, thank you. At the time that the scribe recorded this, she should have caught that. At the time that the scribe recorded this, the king had just really become king. Solomon is taking over from the example that his father left him. Yes. His father was not a warmonger, but in order to establish Israel, he had to shed a lot of blood. He did it with the intention, young Master Moss, of making sure that Israel was secure as a country. And he did it with the blessing of God. But he could not build the temple because he had too much blood on his hands. Isn't it amazing how God will require you to do something and then restrict you from something else based on His request? I want you to do this, but at the same time, you're not going to be able to do this. What is amazing, though, is he had something that he passed on to his son, which was a heart for God. Solomon carried within him, and we're going to see this, the same desire to serve God despite whatever flaws, predilections he had as a human being and as a man. He still had, first and foremost, at the forefront, a desire to do it God's way. When his father closes out his days, if you read the preceding chapters, he tells him, I'm leaving. But there is some unfinished business. You're going to have to get rid of some folks because you're not going to be safe unless you do.
Right now.
He gives him a list of people that must be eliminated, that have betrayed him, betrayed the kingdom. And he even gives those that don't have to be eliminated, but they're going to have to be isolated.
Right.
They're not going to be able to be in your presence. And if they violate this, then that means you're going to have to eliminate them. One of them actually does, and he has him put to sunder. But in the process of establishing his kingship, after he cleans up the list of things that his father gave him when he died, that he inherited, he does something that I think often is not done by us as human beings. It's not often done by us as mothers and fathers. It's often not done by us as leaders in community. It's not often done as you lead companies or start businesses, or we have exchange of pastors with congregations, or we take on roles of deaconship or sing in the choir. And it's simply this. He prayed in the preceding chapter, Lord, give me the wisdom and the understanding to lead your people. Now, let me tell you where this is born from. He is sleeping, and the Lord comes to him. That's a very powerful thing. He comes to him, and he gives him a vision, what they would refer to as an oracle. He is having an exchange with God in this vision. And as God comes to him and he prepares to really take over, God asks of him, what would you ask me for if I was to hand you anything that you wanted? Ask for anything that you want, and I'll give it to you. If you want more land, I'll give it to you. If you want more gold, I will give it to you. If you want a plethora of children or son, I'll give it. Whatever it is that you ask, I will give it to you. Well, he makes the decision to ask God to give him the understanding, to lead God's people. I want to pause. I want you to think about that. Because when he asks for it, he makes the statement, I cannot lead them unless you go with me. I don't know what they need like you know what they need. Listen to me very carefully. He's already in line to be king. It's done. But he makes the request from God with all of the power he has, all of the authority that he has. Step me out of the way, and you get in the way and show me what to do. I think the smartest thing that we can do as followers of Christ is to get out of the way. To stop thinking you know what's best, or you have the best answers, or you have the ability, and to begin to get out of the way and let go and let God.
That's it. All right. That's it.
Now, the evidence of this exchange is not just that it's inscribed within the text,
Right.
that he had this prayer and that it's recorded, and he gave it to the oracles to write down that he had this vision. It is what precedes it with one of the first decisions that he must make as king of the people. Let's look at it. There is two women. They are living as prostitutes. What is clear is that they are both mothers. Hello? Now, what's interesting to me is we know from reading the text that one has a regard for the life that she's given birth to, and another does not. When we look at the 17th verse, 16th verse, then the two women who were prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. This tells us a lot about who Solomon was. Why is that important, Brother Gibsons? Because prostitution at the time was either a necessity of survival or a desire to have money. It is still the same. But the difference is it was frowned upon then. It is now applauded today. It's a difference in culture, a difference in thinking. It was commonplace during that time to come before the king, but it was not commonplace for the lowest. Prostitution was the lowest level of consideration in the society to be able to stand before the king for a decision to be made on your behalf. No men to stand up for not only the child that is lost, but the child that is present. When we look at this, the women were left with no other options for survival, but this speaks to a deeper issue. Speaks to a deeper issue. How is it that they're able to survive off of prostitution in the first place? You hear me. This story is deeper than just the love of a mother for her child. These places where they are congregating together as prostitutes are the result of men's desire, being fulfilled and then paying, in order to get that desire fulfilled. This story, it speaks to Solomon's wisdom, but it also speaks to the absence of morality within the culture. Right. If Israel was what she was supposed to be, these places would not exist. Talk to me. Because all it takes is for another man to say to the other man, hey man, don't go in there. That ain't gonna do you no good. But what occurs is what is occurring still to this day. Hey man, let's go in there together. Talk to me, somebody, and have a good time. This doesn't just speak to an issue of morality. There's a deeper conversation happening. What happens when we lose our mothers? And how mothers give us our self-value and show us that we are not just a thing to be exchanged, but we are a benefit. We are not there just for the comfort of saying that you have a child, but every child holds intrinsic value in the fact that it exists and was able to be conceived. I think that we live in the saddest time in history right now. That's my personal belief. Because the dysfunctional are giving birth to dysfunctional. And it is being passed from generation to generation. Well, what are you saying? Children are simply placeholders for a paycheck. Children are the object of casual relations and not true love. Talk to me. I ain't after nobody. You ain't got to get mad. It's just a fact. It is more so now that children exist as the result of us having a casual good time rather than actually seeking to please God by finding a mate that you might build a family with. So when we lose our mothers, when we are positioned where the women in our society have no concern for the value of the life that they bring into that society. We are in a dangerous space. We are in a space where God will come in and deal with us.
Yes,
Let me tell you what happens. Let's go to Sodom and Gomorrah. When women cease to hold their value, men become perverted. Hello, talk to me. And they become lovers of themselves. And the level of homosexual activity and perversion escalates. Listen to me very carefully. And we become perverse in all of our thinking. At the height of Rome, which was one of the greatest societies that ever existed, one of their number one proclivities was to have sex with children. Listen to me very carefully. At the height of their society, they got more land than they've ever had, they've got more money than they've ever had, and they satisfy their fetishes by sleeping. Specifically, men wanted little boys. Y'all ain't listening to what I'm telling you. Ultimately, it is their undoing, because God comes in and takes the greatest and it makes it the least. And now we only read about what Rome used to be. Listen to me very carefully. We read about what the black community used to be. We haven't been in existence in America as long as Rome existed. But yet we think we can, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. We think that when in America, we can follow the examples that America is setting for us rather than follow the example that God has established for us. So we come to church with sin in our minds, within our hearts, and we carry out activities within the church house that even God himself would be ashamed to recognize. Choir loft, full of folks sleeping and having orgies one with another. Come on, talk to me. Preacher pretending to carry the gospel, but turning his tail end up to another man. Come on, walk with me. And we think that God is pleased with us. No, we need to get down on our knees and confess our sins, because he is faithful and just to forgive us and give us a sense of direction. No, but we are comfortable. We have gotten so comfortable that there's no longer a need to be married, because society says it's all right, regardless of what God has said about the family structure and how it is designed. We're not paying attention to the damage that we have done by allowing the respect for the father to be removed, which has led to the disrespect of the mother, which has led to women not respecting themselves. We have created a nation of prostitutes, where for the cheapest, not even the best bidder, the cheapest bidder, we are willing to trade ourselves out for a name on a car, or a design stitched into a piece of clothing, or a number on a bank account. We are selling our soul in order for us to have something that cannot sustain us, keep us, educate us, or care for us, when we have the one true and living God and we ignore him. Right now. We ignore his statutes. We ignore his wisdom. We ignore his love. We ignore his sacrifice in order to have our way, because our way is better. Our way gets us what we want. Our way feels good for a moment. Hello, talk to me, somebody. But our way is destructive. Well, Pastor, how does this get us into the text? Well, it takes us to a place where we are saying, God, I don't know you, and I don't want to know you. All that matters to me is that I get what I want. These two sons, one is dead, but both are placed in peril because they are in a space of danger, born under circumstances that are dangerous, and ultimately, it is the place where most of our black boys end up, which is before the court. When these mothers end up before Solomon, they are before the court. He is passing judgment based upon the action of one mother taken against another mother in relationship to their children or a child. When we make the decision not to mother our children, we are making a decision for our children to be managed by the court. Hello, talk to me, somebody. At minimum, when I was coming up, I knew that I had several mothers, and I could go to any of them and talk to them about anything. I wasn't limited to just the mother in the back of the room. This is what has led to my development and my strength and my sense of self. Hello, talk to me. Because no matter where I turned, each mother with a different personality always gave me Jesus. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Whether it was in tone or in action, to a scripture, because to really love a child is to give them Jesus. I'm going to give you a name that gave them what they got. Her name was Mary Jane Gibson. And she laid the foundation by living it before us that there was nothing more important in her life than her relationship to Jesus Christ. So if we want to talk about being good mothers and being loving mothers, we must first love God in order to love our children. Hello? Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. I'm teaching now. Hello, somebody. And when we do not do that, you didn't have to start that way, but you can correct at any point in time you choose. When we do that, we leave them with no other options. We position them where they don't get to choose the world, and we accept it by saying it's going to be all right. No, we say it's not going to be all right because God said it's not going to be all right. And son, daughter, we following God in this house. In order for us to regain what we have lost, we're going to have to sit before the judge, and he's going to have to make some decisions. Yes, sir. But at the center of this story, it is really a story of selfishness, which is the opposite of what love is. How you going to take somebody else's baby when you were unable to care for your own? The other question is, how did Solomon know at the end of the conclusion? Well, I'll tell you how. Because Solomon was loved. He had a father and a mother, Bathsheba, that loved him. So he knew love when he saw love. Second, and most important, in the preceding chapters, when he asked the question of God, he said, God, give me the wisdom. What he really was asking for was, God, give me the love and understanding to be able to lead your people. Hello, 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 hello. We should not bring children into this world if we're not willing to love them with an unfailing dedication that places them and positions them not before you, but before God. The most important piece is that you set them before God. So that way, no matter which direction they go, no matter how they act, no matter what they do, you can always say, I told you what thus saith the Lord. I didn't tell you what mama thought was best. I didn't tell you what daddy thought was best. I didn't tell you what granddaddy thought was best. I told you what God said is best. to love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. And if we would put that into our children, we would reap the benefit of it, because what will happen, even though I told you I had all these mothers, I still did what I wanted to do. Hello. But it was all of that love that reminded me, you can't stay here. It was the scripture that reminded me, you weren't called to this. This is not what you were meant to be. I made you to be something better than this. Why are you over in the middle of this when I called you to live over in the middle of this? Selfishness at the center of our decisions, of our actions. The two women who were prostitutes. I don't know if their husbands died. I don't know if they were the product of divorce. I just know they had to make a living. You're right, sister. That's what I know. And so the one thing that a woman has always known, every woman in here knows it. I don't care how short, tall, fat, skinny, dark, light, it does not matter. Every woman in this room, I didn't say little girl, I said woman. Every woman in this room knows that she has a moneymaker. Hello, talk to me, somebody. Oh, yeah, every woman in this room knows. The question is how you choose to use it. Hello, talk to me. I'm preaching to you whether you want it or not. They did the best they could with what they had, and ultimately they had to make some decisions, and they obviously were young enough that they could get impregnated. So both of them are living together in a house of ill repute. That's what it is. That's the bottom line, where men are showing up and there's no way to know who the daddy is. It's impossible to designate that because there have been so many in order for them to collect a paycheck. But the one thing we are clear about, if we don't know nothing else that we used to know, even if you didn't know your daddy, you at least had a mama. Now it's questionable whether you got either. It's hard to determine who is the mother and who is the child. Hello, talk to me, somebody. You trying to dress like your younger child going up in the club. Ain't no comparison. There ought to be some dignity and some difference. She ought to be able to recognize. We ought to be able to separate at some point.
Man.
At some point. It's over with. You still putting on tight clothes. Hello? It's over with. You still think you got something that's going to make somebody jump. It's over with. And even then, you don't have sense enough to humble yourself before God and say, Lord, I may not have used the time that you've given me wisely, but with the little time that I have left, if you step in the middle of it, hello, talk to me. If you'll jump in the middle of it and make me a little bit better than what I was, and help me to walk a little bit smarter and wiser, because I don't know about you, I know I've been a fool, I know what I've been, but I made a decision early on that I didn't want to stay a fool. Hello. And God has blessed me because I made that decision. Oh, but it costs you something. The end result is not only did they give birth to two children, one of those children is dead and one is at risk of being lost. Hello, talk to me. It costs you something when you live in sin. There is a price that has to be paid when you do not carry yourself according to what I said. You got to be perfect, but you got to have some common sense somewhere. So they come. And the one woman said, pardon me, my Lord. When given the opportunity, because you ain't just talking to the king. They don't have this on record. Till you called up and the king speaks to you, you ain't opening your mouth. That's a good way to get your head cut off. I see that they at least have sense enough. I ain't going down that road. But I'm going to let you think about it. They at least have sense enough to respect the king as the king. Hello?
All right.
They could have zero respect for men because they seeing them every day, day and night. Hello? Other folks' husbands coming up in there, old and young coming up in there. But they got sense enough to respect authority. They have sense enough to respect authority. And she said, pardon me, my Lord. This woman and I, we live in the same house, and I gave birth to a child while she was in the house. And it happened on the third day after I gave birth that this woman also gave birth to a child. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house. She is laying the foundation for her case. There was only the two of us in the house. I gave birth. It was two children and two mothers. We prostitutes. That's how we, ended up in this situation. But here are the facts. Then this woman's son died in the night because she laid on him. Hello? Somewhere she done figured this out. She know that ain't her child, but you done killed your child. Now, I gave birth to my child first, and I had sense enough to protect and take care. I remember my children used to sleep with me. I would sleep in upright position and put a pillow on the floor and let them lay in my lap. Why I put the pillow in the floor? Because they're going to roll off and I'm going to fall asleep. And when I wake up, I need to know that they are all right. Somewhere, we are often not checking to make sure that our children are all right. Hello, talk to me. And what I mean by that is, before they get 17, 18, you need to be talking to them about their spirituality and their relation. That would clean up some of this stuff if we got that part straight first. Had those conversations first. Where are you at with the Lord? How you living? What is it? What's your thoughts on your relationship with God? Why are you doing this? Like God ain't say do that like that. I understand if you say, Bree, I ain't taught you that, but you got to have taught them God to say, I ain't taught you that. Because if my children follow everything I did, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. What I have to tell them is you have to know God for yourself. If they don't know anything else from me, the inheritance that I plan on handing down to them is you got to have a relationship with God for yourself. You can judge everything if you have an understanding of what God's truth is, then you can better understand what he wants for your life. She says this woman child died. And here's what she did, King. She got up in the middle of the night and she took my son from beside me while your servant was asleep. Listen to the respect.
All right.
Do you hear? You hear the respect that she's showing him? Do you know why she is respecting him? It's not just because he is the king. It's because he has the power of life and death over her. Oh, y'all didn't hear what I'm saying. We come to God when we get in trouble. Come on now. We come to God when we want something. We come to God when we like God is supposed to be a genie in a bottle moving in the direction we want him to go, instead of humbling ourselves before him and saying, my Lord, I need your assistance before I get in trouble. I need you to guide my path. I'm headed somewhere. I don't know exactly where I'm headed, but God, if you're not with me, I ain't headed nowhere too good. You have to talk to God now, not when you get a husband, before you get a husband. And don't talk to him about sending you a husband. Talk to him about the wife you need to be. It's not about what you get, it's about what you give. Lord, make me, shape me, frame me to what you want me to be. Give me the vision you would. And this is what makes Solomon wise. And even though this woman is a prostitute, she got some sense from somewhere. Because she ain't talking to the one with the power any kind of way. She said, I was asleep, and she laid him at my breast and laid her dead son there. Took my son, took my life, and gave me death in exchange. Be careful who you live with. Be careful who you live with. And what I mean by that is, be careful who you let into your personal space. It's some folks you got to deal with because you work there. It's some folks you might have to deal with because they live there. Hello. But you better be careful how you guard your personal space, because people will take the life from you and exchange it for the death in them. Hello, I'm trying to help you see something. People will take the life that has been placed in you. They'll see the light that Christ has put in you. And in their demonic and satanic activity, they will want to snuff that light out and exchange it for the death that is in them because of their jealousy and their issues and their dysfunctionality and their messed upness. They don't like the fact that you functioning. They don't like the fact that you got this or you got that. And they are scheming on ways to take what you have if you don't appreciate what you got. And so, she said, when I got up in the morning, what she get up to do? Behold, he was dead. But when I looked at it a little bit closer, when I studied it a little bit longer, even though they 3 days apart, I'm headed somewhere. It's Mother's Day and I'm headed somewhere. Woo, you walk right into it. I realize this ain't my baby, regardless of whether he is dead or not. And here is the struggle that I have, which causes me to tell you what I'm telling you. Mothers no longer identify as they should with their children. They don't bond with them the way they should. They don't care. You have a baby and 2 weeks later you up in the club. What is this mess? You ain't taking no time to get to know what you create. But let me tell you, I don't fault them. I fault the systems in which they were given birth into. Those were dysfunctional, and it created dysfunctionality within them. If you ain't had nobody showing you no love, then why would you know how to show love? You can't give what you don't have. Hello? If all you've ever seen is a good time, then guess what you're going to go looking for? A good time. I had a good time. The baby's here. I need to get to going back to having a good time. And so what ends up happening? Yes, Lord, we don't recognize them. And so when they do stupid stuff, so where that come from? Huh? When they do crazy stuff, see, when you take the time to know your child, you're going to know your child's lineage. It ain't just about looking at the child. You got to look at the bloodline. You got to pay attention to where they come from. So when they do something, you can say, oh, that's Papa Johnny right there coming up. I see it. They can't help themselves. Huh? Hello? Which will help you to deal with them and better guide them in the correct direction. But you can't teach that which you do not know and that which you are not familiar with. So where do we begin? Where do we begin? How do we remove this dysfunctionality, this sense of prostitution that exists within our society? How do we get rid of it? How do we find ourselves in a place where we can get it out, this disease where we are willing to sell our souls for everything and anything, and we have no mind for what true love is? Right now, we have to turn back to God. We have to set aside all of the foolishness, all of the things that are making our minds twisted, and sit down and talk to God. And don't talk to him about somebody else. Sit down and talk to him about you. Then the other woman said, no, this is not true. For the living one is mine, and the dead one is yours. But the first woman said, no, for the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son. So they both spoke before the king. Then the king said, hold up, I can fix this. The one says, this is my son who is living. The other one says, the dead one is hers. The other says, no, for your son is the dead one. I can fix this. He said, get me a sword. What does a sword represent? Judgment. The sword always represents judgment. Jesus, when he comes back, he said he coming back with the sword. He gonna do what? Separate. He said, go get me a sword. Who gonna stop him? Because he's the king. You might not like it, but he's still the king. What is he gonna do with this sword? The king said, when you get the sword, cut the living child in two. Give half to one and half to the other. Let me show you what's happening here. It's more than just him being wise, because he is. Wisest that ever lived. Short of Jesus Christ, the wisest that ever lived. It is him knowing ahead of time that if I separate this baby and give him no functionality whatsoever, remember we talking about dysfunctionality being passed on. If I kill him, essentially, then you don't have him and she won't have him, and there will be no issue. But there will be two grieving, at least one grieving mother, and two dead children. Hello, talk to me. But the woman whose child was the living one spoke to the king. For she was deeply what? Stirred up. Grief. She felt something for her child. Didn't matter whether she knew the daddy or not. This is my child. This came from me. Hold up. I got what you're saying, but look at how she addresses him still. Pardon me, my Lord, because he got that sword and he has made an edict and he has the power of life and death. Hello. I know a man that's got that power, but we don't give him the same type of respect that she's giving this king. We treat him any kind of way. We get in our messes and then we want him to justify it. And we want to trade out life for death. Hello, but he's already done that. He's already given his life so that you might live and have life. Yes, Lord, again, and have life eternal. He ain't finna go back and do that again. She said, pardon me, Lord. Give her the living child. I'm finna show you this. This is Jesus now. This is Jesus. Give her the living child. And by no means kill him. But the other woman was saying, he shall be neither mine nor yours. Cut him in half. Let me tell you what the world wants to do to our children. They don't want the children to belong to you. They don't want them to belong to God. They just want to get them and kill them. Listen to me, young folks. The world wants to get you and destroy. It has no concern for you. It'll tell you all kind of stuff. It'll act like it loves you by stealing you away from your family and stealing you away from the folks that love you and convincing you doing something. You having a good time. But in the end, Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. While you having a ball, legs up in the air, somebody know what I'm talking about. You think you're doing something, but if God is not involved, we setting ourselves up for what? Disappointment and discouragement, and for him to have to pass judgment on us. That's why we have to repent. Listen, I'm a sinner saved by grace. That's why I get excited, because even if I didn't have a mother that loved me, I found a man that loved me greater than my mother could. I wish you understood what I was saying to you. Even if I don't get love from my children, I found somebody that loved me enough that he was willing to give up. He traded his life. He said, if they got to kill me for me to get you, then let them kill me, because I love you that much. If I got to get up here and sacrifice myself, skip using a lamb, use me. Skip bringing some other sacrifice in, use my blood. It'll cover you. It'll protect you. It'll lead you. It'll take care of you. It'll show you. It'll guide you. It'll forgive you. It'll bless you. It'll say, y'all don't hear me, church. It'll sustain you. Don't wait. Listen. The closest a mother comes to dying is when she gives birth. And there are two things, as I prepare to close. There are two things. There are two things, Bree. There are two things, Keisha, that are going to be exchanged. At the moment of birth, there's going to be the shedding of blood, and there's going to be the passing of water. And the last time I checked, they pierced him in the side.
Yeah.
And it was both blood and water that ran.
Yes.
And he was giving birth to a new nation, people who would follow his word, follow his lead, in order that they might have life and have it more abundant.
Yeah.
Trade in the foolishness of this world. Don't trade in what you birthed out of sin for the one true living God. Don't trade in what he has to offer you. For he says, my house is full of mansions. I have gone away to prepare. Don't worry about death. Don't worry about the one who can kill the body. What we ought to be concerned about is the one that can kill the body and the soul. I don't know what happened to this wicked prostitute, this wicked mother. I do know by the time it was over,
Oh, yeah.
the one that screamed out and said, I'd rather he live without me and be able to live than to be dead and can't nobody do nothing with him. We got too many children walking around here dead. Hello? Yeah, I'm there. There's too many of them. Can't nobody do nothing with them. Because when you tried to chastise him, no, don't whoop Johnny. Don't whoop him. He too cute to be whooped. Hello, talk to me, somebody. When you got ready to give him, you gave him everything but the love of God. You gave him too much stuff and too many things. We got to go here. We got to go. I want them to experience this. Sometimes you don't need to have some experiences. It'll wake you up to appreciate what you have. If you got 15 flavors of ice cream, you might not appreciate just having one. Hello, talk to me, somebody. And what has happened is we have prostituted ourselves out, and we trade in our children when they are our primary. They are our primary contribution. I'm going to say that again. Our children are our primary contribution to this world. What's the last name on your children? What's the last name on your children? What's the last name you got? Yep. Hello, somebody talk to me. They are your primary contribution to this world. And so if they messed up and won't do right, if they get caught up and won't do right, if they have no sin, that's why you got to love all of the children. You can't limit yourself to just yours or the ones that you want to. You got to help all of the children. That same little girl that you won't take the time to talk to might be the same little girl that gives your son AIDS or gonorrhea. You ain't listening to what I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to help you. That same little boy that you don't want to help, that you don't want to talk to, may be the same little boy that kicks your door in with a gun. That I have watched. Because am I telling the truth? We have watched children come up that we knew as children, and their faces splashed on the TV. Because they done something horrific, stupid, and on their way to prison. And they're sitting there like, yeah, your face gonna be like this when you get in there. It ain't gonna, it's gonna, huh? I want to tell you something right there, but I can't. That's what that feel like? No, let me leave that alone. Huh? We setting them up. We setting them up for the wrong thing. So either we put our time in now, or we put it in later. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen? We're going to put it in.
Put it in.
You're either going to put it in grieving, or you're going to put it in rejoicing. Hello, talk to me, somebody. Talk to me. Talk to me. And it's never too late. It's never too late. It ain't too late except to when they die. Once they're dead, ain't nothing else you can do about it. It's done. But while they are living, you can tell them there is a God. And one day you got to give an account for how you live. Hello?
Man.
And the choices that you make.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to come back and he's going to do some separating.
Yes, he is.
And what you don't want to do is be on the wrong side of his separation. Because on one side, it's going to be the sheep. I'm done. I'm going to go. I'll get you out of here early. It's 11:32. On the other side, listen, it's going to be the goats.
All right.
What do we know about goats? They stubborn. They dysfunctional. Sheep will follow instruction. Hello? Goats don't listen to nobody. Goats are hard-headed. They so stupid. Listen, Jasmine. Goats so stupid, it chew on a tin can. Ain't no when you bite the can, it ought to tell you this ain't food. But that's how stupid a goat is. That's how rebellious. The goat gonna make it be something that it's not. That's how stupid goats are. But sheep are submitted. And so Lakeisha, when you get submitted, the Lord said, we're going this way. And you say, I'm going this way. Hello. I can't see what's this way. But I know you are my guiding light. Hello, talk to me, somebody. I don't know what's this way. But you said you go away to prepare. I like the said part. Because when God, you don't know about the upper room. They get to the upper room. Just go there. There's a man. And he don't know you. You ain't even gotta know him. You tell the master need of it. It feels good. Because when I get there, I say, how I can say, this boy, hello, don't you got a room for me? You prepared a place for me. He gonna say, hello, you ought to get excited. Well done, good servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Say I had to get everything. He said, just a few. If I got, hello, I was going in the right direction for a few things. Come in. He received me. You know, Solomon was the wisest. But he was the wisest because he asked God to show him. He didn't tell God. He didn't say, I got the title, I'm the king, I know what I'm doing. He said, lead me. And in return, God gave him wealth because he didn't ask for it. God gave him riches. God gave him longevity of life. What am I saying to you? That one mother had no concern or care for her child. She never should have been a mother in the first place. And the child ends up dead. And all she wants to do is cover up the poor decision and neglect that she has executed on the child by taking somebody else's child only to kill it, probably the same way that she killed her. Help us, Lord. But if you get before the king, listen to me, he'll give you your child back to you. Huh? He'll cut the devil loose from you. Because I'm here to tell you, I guarantee you, them two chicks wasn't living together no more. I guarantee you, I didn't even have to be there. They ain't living together no more, especially if they were black. If they were black female, they weren't living together no more. You gonna steal my baby? Huh? Negro, you better be glad I ain't killed you. Huh? Why I held the baby. But on top of that, what does this mother now know that she didn't know? That this life that she's living is dangerous. And I've got to find a better way, hello, to live. The doors of the church are open for the exception of members. As a candidate for baptism, based on your own Christian experience, let's give our mothers a hand. Let's give our mothers a hand. It ain't always easy. It's not always fair. It doesn't always feel good. You might not, I'm talking to the children now. You might not always like it, but I'm here to tell you, if you got any semblance of a mother, if she got any relationship with God, you better listen to what she's telling you, because she done been there before you got there. And she trying to help you to get from point A to point B. I laugh as my mother was telling me, got to turn the light off on your phone. You know what that is? That's care. That's just a mother's love. She don't know how. I don't care how. I got just as much gray hair as she got now. But it don't ever stop, does it? When you love something, you never stop loving it. If you really love it, it never stops. And so no matter what. So that's why I have to say, mama, chill out. I got this. Huh? Because in her mind, that's my baby boy. Right? Well, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. That's why he got all them scars on him now. You go out there, you get skin up, it's on you. Because I told you. I told you don't do it. I ain't finna beg you to not do it. I ain't finna beg you to listen to me. This is the difference in the balance of mothers and fathers. This is why both can't be hard. Listen to me. It's got to be balance in there. Because otherwise, you're going to create something that's going to be messed up. You got to know when to bag up. When I hear my wife getting at my children, I just bag up. Ain't no need for me to jump in the middle of that. Huh? And you know what I do? I listen. I listen. What am I listening for? Is the we have lost. That's what we've lost. When we don't have that, we got nobody that's responsible. And when nobody is responsible, folks just doing what they want. I can't just kick the door in at his house unless he's not at home. Because I'm going to be met with it's going to be a response. A shot. Wow. You, you, you can tell how this aunt was. You can tell how she was when I was coming. All right. There are 9 gentlemen. You may be seated. At this time, we're going to prepare our hearts to do our offering. As we prepare to do our offering and as we prepare to do our offering, and she back there. You can tell.